I have a Wilton Bullet Vise. Yeah, really cool. Vintage one. And these are awesome. I've actually searched for one for a while, but wasn't really too moving forward to buying one just yet because I hadn't had a setup yet as we're building a work table on the outside of the shop here. So that way I can use it in and outside there. Obviously, I'm not going to leave it out in the elements, but anyway, I did want one of these things for a while. This one here is a 1961 model. I took the movable jaw part off, and on the bottom there's a key that slides into the body, and then usually the date stamps are on there. So this one here is marked Schiller Park, Illinois, which is later. I believe when they started off, they were in Chicago, and they moved to Schiller Park. Not sure exactly when they did that, but these guys have been making vices since 1941, I believe. So they're not the original people that made the bullet design. I think it was a fella from Europe, and then he came over, and then they kind of. But this company Wilton is definitely the one that put the design on the map, and it's gotten well known. To take it completely apart, I didn't do a full-blown restoration on it. Definitely, when I got it, it was a full-on rust bucket. I started to pretty much clean it up a little bit. I wanted to kind of leave it as a rustic look. I know some people repaint them and all that. I'm not going to do that. At least right now, I'm not. But I did took some of this rust dissolver stuff and cleaned that up, and then kind of oiled it after, scrubbed it down a little bit. And then I actually did notice afterwards I did all that. It did retain some of its, what appears to be some of the original paint, which is kind of that minty green, almost the grayish paint that is on there. So this one here, like I said, the lettering is it kind of curves up and smaller. I've seen ones where they're larger. This one here is a 3.5 jaw. If you want to take the rest of the inline straight line nut out of it, that's what drives the jaw and everything. There's 2 pins over here in the rear, and you can drive those out and then pop the cap off here through the inside. I've seen people do it with a dowel or something soft, and then from there you can actually drive this whole cap off, and you can see, or it's got the seam there. But anyway, let's look at some dimensions. This pig is heavy. It's a 3.5 on the jaw width there. And they do make a 4. It's a model 400, I guess, indicating the the inches of the jaw. But anyway, this one, the swivel still works. It does have its base. It's bent on this side. This one got bent. I'm gonna have to straighten that out a little bit, but you can see there it's bent. But I was really happy to get it because it's a pretty cool old vise, and it's definitely a quality vise. I wouldn't say they're the best, but they're definitely up there. So this one, I would like to say it hasn't been abused too badly. So it's kind of cool, and they are rather collectible. People collect these things like crazy. So I just noticed it's got a little bit of a chip right there, possibly. It's not going to affect anything, but I did not notice any cracks or anything like that. But it is heavy. This pig weighs about almost 40 pounds. I think it's like 36, 37 pounds. The overall length of the thing from the end of the handle face to the bullet end is about 15 inches. And it stands from the base to the top of the jaws about 7. Maybe even a little under, but so kind of gives you an idea of the size of a 3.5. I believe this is the in between. I know that the smaller ones, the baby bullets, like the little 2 inches or something like that, that's what they call them. They're really expensive. But on this side, you can actually see more of the original paint. So anyway, I thought it was really cool and wanted to show it to you.